Jonkunu come!
History is the landmark by which we are directed into the future. Our traditional dances form an integral part of our history and play a significant role in the process of our cultural development.
Jamaican traditional dances stem from two regions, Africa and Europe. You'll find that the influences have come through the African slaves who were brought to Jamaica, and also through the Europeans who were the slave masters. And there was an intermingling of some of the movement as time went by. But we find that we have retentions which are purely African in nature, and then we also have retentions which are a mix of the African and European.
Kumina is the most African of our traditional dances. It is usually associated with wakes or 9 nights, but our African ancestors performed this ritual at births, anniversaries, and Thanksgiving ceremonies. The drum is an integral part of this dance ritual, and white rum is used to anoint the players and instruments prior to the start of the ceremony. Kumina is performed primarily in the parish of St. Thomas and to a lesser extent in St. Mary and St. Catherine. Tambu groups are found mainly in Trelawney. This dance form resembles that of Kumina. Tambu is performed mainly for entertainment, and there's a similarity in the dance movements to that of the ballet of Martinique and Guadeloupe. Gere and Dinky Mini are of African origin and are usually performed after a death up until 9 nights after the death. Gere is common in the western end of the island. Dinkimini is unique to the parish of St. Mary. Gere and Dinkimini sessions are usually held to cheer the bereaved. Many of our traditional dances originated on the sugar plantations, much to the embarrassment of the planter class.
At one time, they tried to prevent the African dances from being performed. It was banned, and so a number of the dances went underground. They would perform them secretly at nights in the deep parts of the kin pieces and so on. And you find that those that have been preserved, particularly the Kumina and some of the others that I've mentioned, have survived because of this pressure to retain their heritage.
Quadrille is a ballroom set dance which originated in the courts of Europe and was performed in Jamaica by the gentry during slavery. There are two styles, the ballroom, which is the European style, and the camp style, the creolized fashion. Mentor bands accompanied these dances, playing a variety of European tunes. Bruckins is a traditional dance performed in the past mainly to celebrate the anniversary of emancipation from slavery, August 1, 1838. Bruckins has set dancers in blue and red who perform in a sort of contest between kings and queens of each set. Bruckins is now practiced mainly in the parish of Portland. Maypole is of European origin, originally performed on May 1 at the May Day fertility ceremonies in England. This dance was done across the island, especially on the sugar estates. It is now very Jamaican in character. Groups may comprise 12 to 16 dancers, sometimes all female or with mixed couples. The plaiting of the pole with colored ribbon has basic traditional patterns, starting with the grand chain, wrapping the ribbon around the pole from the top. The plaiting continues away from the pole, ending in the basket weave, before the unplaiting takes place. The Maypole dance is still performed all over Jamaica, especially among schools for special ceremonies.
Pachi Pachi Milo.
Jonkenu is another of the traditional dances of African and European origin. Research indicates that this dance once formed part of an elaborate festival in Africa. Here in Jamaica, Jonkenu is performed mainly at Christmas time.
This is a secular dance, which also is one of the mixes that you will find coming out of Europe and Africa. It's a masquerade, and it was developed by the slaves as an expression of festivity, celebration, but also as a method of ridiculing the slave masters.
In the early days, the Jonkenu dance was kept alive through competitions on the sugar estates.
Show me how you tread your need a long, long tread. Tread on your long, long tread. Nanny, nanny, tread your need a long, long tread. Tread on your long, long tread. Show me how you tread your need a long, long tread. Tread on.
Ring games were originally English children's games. In the past, traditional ring games were played not only by children, but also by adults. Today, however, it is mostly children who play the game of song and dance. Ring games have taken on a local form over the years and now show some physical dexterity and creativity.
Our traditional dances are what makes us unique, special people, are what makes us different from other Caribbean islands, other parts of the world. And when we go abroad, this is what we have to use to present ourselves as Jamaicans, as our heritage. And so therefore it's very important that it's preserved and kept for future generations.
Despite the fact that most of our traditional dances have lost their significance, these should be kept alive as expressions of our ancestral culture.